Welcome to the Nightmare Index, case file 006 now open. For vacation rentals, for guests who discovered that some hosts never leave their properties. When you book a stranger's home, you're trusting more than their reviews. You're trusting what they haven't told you. If you love our video, ensure subscribe, like and hit the notification bell to receive our steady update. Now let's begin. Saffron Tate booked 3 nights in a historic Charleston mansion, converted to a luxury Airbnb. The listing photos showed antique furniture, original hardwood, Southern Gothic architecture, perfect for her solo writing retreat. The host, a woman named Eleanor, left the key in a lockbox and sent detailed instructions: make yourself at home. I'm traveling but available by phone for any needs. The bedroom upstairs is yours. Most guests find it inspiring. Saffron arrived at 2 p.m., the mansion exceeded expectations. High ceilings, crown molding, that old house smell of wood and history. She climbed the stairs to her room. The entire bedroom was mirrors, not modern wall mirrors, antique ones in elaborate frames, covering every surface, the walls, dozens of mirrors, each slightly different in age and quality, creating infinite reflections that didn't quite align. Disorienting, but beautiful, very Instagram-worthy. Saffron unpacked, set up her laptop, tried to write, but the mirrors were distracting. Every tiny movement multiplied into a dozen versions of herself shifting simultaneously, peripheral vision constantly catching motion that was just her own reflection. By evening, she'd adapted, made dinner in the surprisingly modern kitchen, returned to the bedroom with her laptop. At 9 p.m., she noticed something odd. In one of the mirrors, an oval one near the window, her reflection was wearing different clothes. She was in pajamas, blue cotton, but the reflection showed her in the jeans and sweater she'd worn earlier. Saffron stood up, moved closer to the mirror. Now the reflection matched, same pajamas. Tired eyes, she muttered, and returned to her work. At 11 p.m., she saw it again. Different mirror this time, a rectangular one above the dresser. Her reflection was standing when she was sitting, facing away, looking at something Saffron couldn't see. She turned around, nothing behind her but more mirrors. When she looked back, the reflection had corrected itself. Saffron's skin prickled. She grabbed her phone, texted Eleanor, "Quick question, the mirrors in the bedroom, are they antique?" "Some of them seem to have distortions." Response came immediately, "Yes, all original to the house. 1880s, some imperfections in the glass are normal for that era." Adds character, that made sense. Old glass warped, created illusions. Saffron tried to sleep, kept the bedside lamp on. Complete darkness surrounded by mirrors felt wrong. She woke at 2:47 a.m. to movement. Every mirror showed her lying in bed, exactly as she was, but in one, a tall mirror by the bathroom door, the reflection was sitting up, staring at her. Saffron froze. Her real body was lying down, the reflection sat upright, head turned toward her, watching. She closed her eyes, counted to 10, opened them. The reflection was closer to the camera, still sitting, but the mirror was the same distance from the bed. The reflection had moved within the mirror space, getting nearer to the surface. Saffron scrambled out of bed, turned on every light. All the reflections showed her standing now, panicked, looking around the room. Except one, in the oval mirror near the window. The reflection was still in bed, lying on its side, facing her empty bed, watching the space where she'd been sleeping. "This is insane," Saffron whispered. She pulled out her phone, started recording video, swept the camera across the room, capturing all the mirrors. On her phone screen, everything looked normal, all reflections matched reality. But when she looked up from the phone, directly at the oval mirror, the reflection was still wrong, still showing her in bed. The camera couldn't see what she was seeing. She called Eleanor, voicemail, called again, voicemail, sent texts, something's wrong with the mirrors. I need to speak with you. This isn't normal distortion, no response. Saffron sat in the corner farthest from all mirrors, knees pulled to chest, watching. As dawn approached, the wrong reflections gradually corrected themselves. By 6 a.m., every mirror showed accurate reality. She packed immediately, left the key in the lockbox, drove to a hotel. Eleanor texted at noon, I see you checked out early. Everything okay? Saffron called her, the mirrors. They weren't showing accurate reflections. They were showing me in different positions, doing things I wasn't doing. Silence. Then, I should have warned you. The previous owner died in that room. She was vain. Obsessed with her appearance. Spent hours in front of those mirrors. When they found her, she'd been dead for 3 days, but she was posed in front of the oval mirror, sitting up, staring at her reflection. You rented me a room where someone died without disclosing it. Technically, I don't have to disclose deaths that occurred more than 3 years ago. And honestly, most guests don't notice anything. You're the first in months to mention the mirrors. First to mention it. How many people have experienced this? A few. Most check out early and don't explain why. I assumed they just didn't like the decor. Take down that listing. Now. I can't do that. This is my income. Besides, she's harmless. She's just stuck. Watching herself. Watching others watch themselves. She lived for her reflection. Now she exists in it. Saffron hung up and reported the property to Airbnb. The listing was never removed. It's still active. 5 stars. Recent reviews mention quirky vintage mirrors and so many great angles for photos. 3 reviews mention checking out early. No explanations given. 1 review, posted 2 weeks ago, includes photos. The guest took selfies in the bedroom, trying to capture all the ornate mirrors. In one photo, the oval mirror is visible in the background. The reflection in that mirror shows someone else, not the guest, a woman in old-fashioned clothing, sitting on the bed, staring at the camera with hollow, desperate eyes. The guest's caption, loved the vintage vibe. Felt like stepping back in time. They had no idea what they'd photographed. And Eleanor keeps booking guests, 3-night minimum, the bedroom with all the mirrors, because the woman in the glass gets lonely and she needs to see living faces, even if only in reflection. Saffron still has nightmares about mirrors, any mirror. She covers them at night now, all of them. Juniper Cross rented a converted barn in rural Oregon for a week. She needed isolation to finish her thesis. The listing promised, quiet. No neighbors. High-speed internet. Perfect for writers and remote workers. The host, a man named Derek, met her at the property. Mid-40s, friendly, professional. Everything's in the welcome book, he said, handing her the keys. I live about 20 minutes away. Call anytime if you need something. What's with the basement door? Juniper pointed to the living room wall. A door painted to match the walls, secured with 6 different locks. Deadbolts, chains, a padlock. Derek's smile tightened. Old root cellar. Structural damage. Not safe. Please don't try to open it. Everything you need is on this level. Why so many locks if it's just structural damage? Previous renter was curious. Tried to explore. I added extra security to avoid liability. Trust me, there's nothing interesting down there. Just dirt and old foundation. Made sense. Juniper settled in. The barn was perfect. Quiet. Fast internet. Comfortable. That first night, she worked late. Around 1 a.m., she took a break, made tea in the kitchen. From the living room, scratching. Soft. Rhythmic. Like fingernails on wood. Coming from the basement door. Juniper walked over slowly. The scratching continued. Not aggressive. Almost tentative. Like someone testing if anyone was listening. She pressed her ear to the door. The scratching stopped immediately. Silence. Then, very faintly, hello. A voice. Muffled by the door. Female. Young. Is someone down there? Juniper called. Please. Let me out. I don't know how long I've been here. Juniper's pulse raced. She grabbed her phone, called Derek. He answered on the first ring, voice alert despite the hour. What's wrong? There's someone in your basement. A woman. She's asking me to let her out. Long pause. Juniper, there's no one in the basement. I can hear her. She just spoke. Listen to me very carefully. Do not open that door. Do not speak to whatever you're hearing. Go to the bedroom, close the door, and ignore any sounds until morning. If someone's trapped, no one is trapped. No one alive. That door stays locked. I'm serious. If you open it, I can't help you. What the hell does that mean? It means that property has a history I didn't disclose because legally I don't have to. A woman disappeared on that land in 2009. They never found her. But sometimes she's still here. And she wants out. This is insane. I'm calling law enforcement, do what you need to. But they've been here before. Many times. They've opened that door. There's nothing down there. Just an empty root cellar. But the sounds continue. And anyone who opens that door when she's asking, they regret it. Why would they regret it? Because she doesn't want to be let out. She wants to pull someone in. To trade places. It's happened twice. Once in 2012, once in 2016. People opened the door, stepped down to investigate, and vanished. We found them 3 days later, still in the basement, sitting in the dark, staring at the wall. Wouldn't speak. Wouldn't move. Both are in psychiatric facilities now. Catatonic. Juniper's mouth went dry. I want to leave. In the morning. Right now, just ignore her. She can't hurt you if the door stays closed. Juniper hung up. Stood in the living room, staring at the locked door. The voice came again, please. I'm so cold. I just want to come upstairs. I can't help you, Juniper said. Why not? Just unlock the door. Just let me out. I won't hurt you. I promise. I just want to feel warm again. Derek said, Derek doesn't know what it's like down here. The dark. The cold. Please. Have mercy. Juniper backed toward the bedroom. The voice grew more desperate. Wait. Don't leave me. Don't leave me alone again. Please. The scratching intensified. Not fingernails anymore. Pounding. Like fists beating the wood. Juniper slammed the bedroom door, shoved a chair under the handle. The pounding continued for hours, gradually fading. By 4 a.m., silence. She didn't sleep. At dawn, she packed her car. The basement door looked normal. Quiet. Innocent. She was at her car when she heard it. The voice. Not from the basement. From behind her. Thank you for not opening it. Juniper spun around. A woman stood near the barn. Translucent in the morning light. Wearing clothes from the late 2000s. I'm not really in the basement, the woman said. That's the thing. I'm everywhere on this property. The basement is where I died. Where he buried me. But I'm not trapped there. I'm trapped here. On this land. And I'm so lonely. Who killed you? The previous owner. Not Derek. Someone before. They caught him eventually. But they never found my body. Never gave me a proper burial. So I stayed. What happens if someone opens the door? They see what he did. They see me as I am now. And their minds can't handle it. So they break. And I have company. For a little while. Until they take them away. Why tell people to open it if you know what happens? The woman's expression crumbled. Because I don't want to be alone. And in that moment after they see me, before they break, they understand. They know me. They see me. And I'm not alone anymore. She faded as the sun rose higher. Juniper left. Reported everything to Airbnb. The listing remained active. Derek was apologetic, offered a full refund, asked her not to leave a review. She agreed, she wanted to forget the entire experience. But 3 months later, she received a message on Airbnb. From a guest who'd stayed at that property. You stayed here in March. Right? Did you hear anything from the basement? I opened the door last night. I had to know. Derek said not to, but I had to know. I saw something down there. I can't stop seeing it. Even with my eyes closed. Even when I'm awake. It's always there now. What did I see? What was that? Please tell me you know. Please tell me I'm not insane. Juniper never responded. Thorne Malachi booked a private room in a suburban Denver home. The host, Patricia, had excellent reviews, welcoming. Clean. Felt like home. Patricia greeted him warmly. You're in the blue room upstairs. Bathrooms across the hall. I'm usually gone during the day, work, but I'm around most evenings if you need anything. Make yourself comfortable. The room was nice. Queen bed, desk, dresser. Very clean. Almost too clean. That sharp chemical smell of recent intensive scrubbing. Thorne settled in for his 3-night stay. Business conference downtown. This was cheaper than hotels. First night, he showered around 10 p.m. When he returned to his room, something was off. His laptop was open. He'd closed it. His suitcase was unzipped. He'd zipped it. Small things. Easy to dismiss as memory errors. But then he noticed the dresser. He'd put his clothes in the top 2 drawers. Now items were in the 3rd drawer. Clothes he didn't recognize. Men's clothes. Not his size. He checked the closet. Shoes that weren't his. Jacket that wasn't his. He went downstairs. Patricia was in the living room, reading. Patricia, There are someone else's belongings in my room. She looked up, confused. What do you mean? In the dresser. In the closet. Men's clothes. Not mine. Oh. That's probably Michael's things. I must have forgotten to fully clear the room. Who's Michael? Her smile flickered. My son. He used to have that room. Moved out 2 years ago. Sometimes I miss things when I'm getting the room ready. I'll get those out of your way tomorrow. Made sense. Thorne returned to his room. But something nagged at him. He'd opened those drawers when he first arrived. They'd been empty. Second night, he came back around 11 p.m. The room smelled different. Cologne. Not his. The bed was made differently. The pillows arranged in a way he hadn't left them. And on the nightstand, a framed photograph. Patricia with a young man, maybe 25. In this exact room. Smiling at the camera. Thorne hadn't seen that photo before. He would have noticed. He picked it up. The back had an inscription, Michael's 25th birthday. Last one in this room. Last one. Thorne went downstairs again. Patricia was still in the living room. Same spot. Same book. Patricia, about Michael, he's fine. Living his own life now. Why? When did he move out? 2 years ago. Like I said. And he's okay. Patricia's expression changed. Hardened. Why wouldn't he be? There's a photo upstairs that says last birthday. It seemed, get out of my house. What? Pack your things. Leave. Now. I don't allow guests who snoop and ask inappropriate questions. I wasn't snooping, now. Thorne backed away, went upstairs. Started packing quickly. As he gathered his belongings, he noticed more things that hadn't been there before. A watch on the dresser. A book on the nightstand. A jacket on the door hook. All appearing. As if someone was slowly moving back into the room. He grabbed his suitcase and hurried downstairs. Patricia stood at the bottom of the steps. You upset him, she whispered. He doesn't like questions. He doesn't like people in his room who don't appreciate it. Your son. My son. Yes. Michael. He's very particular. About his space. About his privacy. Patricia, is Michael alive? Her face crumpled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. He lives here. In his room. Where he's always lived. Where he'll always live. Thorne pushed past her, out the front door. He reported the incident to Airbnb. They investigated. Contacted Patricia. She told them a different story, that Thorne had been aggressive and made her uncomfortable, so she'd asked him to leave. But Airbnb also found something else. Patricia's son Michael had died 3 years ago. In that blue bedroom. Overdose. She'd found him in the morning. Patricia had been renting that room ever since. Keeping it exactly as it was. Letting strangers sleep in her dead son's bed. The listing was removed. Patricia was banned from hosting. Cypress Wainwright meticulously researched Airbnbs before booking. Read every review. Checked every rating. She'd had bad experiences before, misleading photos, dirty spaces, absent hosts. Not this time. She found the perfect place. Cottage in the Catskills. Secluded. Peaceful. Exactly as described. Every review said the same thing. Not similar, identical. Word for word. Secluded. Peaceful. Exactly as described. 5 stars. 47 reviews. All using that exact phrase. Cyprus thought it was odd, but maybe the host had that phrase in their listing description, and guests were echoing it. She booked 3 nights. The host, a woman named Vera, sent thorough instructions. Key under the mat. Door code 1987. Make yourself at home. Everything you need is there. Cyprus arrived around 3 p.m. The cottage sat deep in woods, accessible only by a long dirt road. Truly isolated. Perfect for her needs, she was recovering from surgery and needed rest without distractions. Inside, the cottage was immaculate. Exactly like the photos. Better, even. Fresh flowers on the table. Basket of local snacks. Everything perfect. She settled in. The silence was profound. No traffic. No neighbors. Just trees and birdsong. That night, Cyprus started a fire in the fireplace. Found a leather-bound guest book on the mantel. She opened it, curious to see what previous guests had written. Every entry said the same thing: secluded. Peaceful. Exactly as described. 5 stars. Different handwriting. Different dates spanning 5 years. But identical words. Every single entry. Cyprus flipped through dozens of pages. Not one deviation. Even entries in different languages translated to the same phrase. Her unease grew. She checked her phone, no signal, which was expected this far from civilization. But the Wi-Fi worked. She logged into Airbnb, reread the reviews. Secluded. Peaceful. Exactly as described. 5 stars. She noticed something she'd missed before. The review dates. The most recent was from 3 days ago. But the guest book's most recent entry, 2 years ago. Nobody had visited in 2 years. Yet reviews kept appearing. Cyprus closed the laptop. This was weird but not dangerous. Maybe Vera faked reviews. Unethical, sure, but not a reason to panic. She went to bed. At 2 a.m., she woke to light from the living room. She'd left her laptop closed. Now it was open. Glowing. She crept out of the bedroom. The laptop screen showed the Airbnb review page. A new review form was open. Half-written, secluded. Peaceful. Exactly as, nobody was in the room. Nobody was typing. But as she watched, letters appeared, described. 5 stars. The review posted itself. Username, Cyprus Wainwright. Her account. Her name. But she hadn't written it. She grabbed the laptop, tried to delete the review. Couldn't. The review was locked. Already visible to other users. She tried to call Vera. No signal. The Wi-Fi was still connected, but only to Airbnb. No other websites would load. No email. No messaging apps. Just Airbnb. Cyprus checked her booking. Checkout was tomorrow at 11 a.m. Less than 10 hours. She could wait. But then she saw her booking dates. Extended. Now showing checkout as next week. She hadn't extended. Hadn't changed anything. Her account showed a message from Vera, so glad you're enjoying your stay. I've extended your booking at no charge. Guests usually want to stay longer. Take your time. Relax. You're exactly where you need to be. Cyprus tried to respond. Her messages wouldn't send. She tried to modify the booking. Change the dates back. Delete her stay entirely. Nothing worked. The system locked her out of all controls except one, reviews. She could leave reviews. That function worked perfectly. A notification appeared, "How was your stay? Leave a review." Cyprus typed, "Help. I'm trapped. Host is keeping me here. Send help." Posted. The review appeared on the listing. But the words had changed. Panic gnaws at Cyprus as the clock ticks toward checkout. The more she resists, the more the platform nudges her deeper. Reviews fill with the same eerie cadence, times extend, and the host's messages morph into whispered threats. She frantically tries to exit, but every button leads back to the same page, a live feed of her own stay, with comments that aren't hers and a wall of names she doesn't recognize. Cyprus never returns to public view. Her account remains active, but every new message from readers starts with, "We booked a stay after watching your video," and ends with the host's whisper, "Welcome home." Some listings aren't haunted by the past. They're haunted by what you bring with you. This is the Nightmare Index. Case file 006 is now closed.